Everything in Cleveland just flipped, and it took only one press conference to do it. For weeks, fans have been begging for answers, trying to figure out why a quarterback with next-level arm talent was being treated like he wasn't ready to play real NFL football. The whispers turned into criticism. The criticism turned into outrage. And before today, it felt like the Browns were stuck in neutral, terrified to let their young quarterback take control. But in one moment, that frustration turned into hope. Kevin Stefanski stepped up to the podium, calm, confident, and carrying a message no one saw coming. Reporters expected more coach speak, more vague promises, more excuses for holding things back. Instead, the head coach dropped a statement that sent a jolt through the entire NFL world. It wasn't just something said to fill air. It was a declaration, a warning, a complete shift in philosophy. Because after this, there's no going back. Everything the Browns do from this moment forward will be viewed through a different lens. The stakes just got higher. Expectations just skyrocketed. And all eyes are now locked on one young quarterback who could take this team from cautious to electric in a single afternoon. Cleveland wanted a sign. They wanted proof that the future wasn't being wasted. And today, they finally got their answer. Before today's shift, the Browns' offense felt like it was living in a cage. It didn't matter how much arm talent Shedeur Sanders showed coming out of college. It didn't matter that he built a reputation on fearless throws and game-changing moments. The Cleveland coaching staff kept him on the shortest leash imaginable. Call it overprotective, call it cautious, call it flat-out scared. Every week, fans watched him drop back only a handful of times, forced to check the ball down and avoid taking any risks. It wasn't strategy. It looked like fear disguised as coaching. And fans weren't shy about letting their frustration be known. Cleveland sports radio turned into a daily therapy session. Comment sections filled with disbelief. Reporters openly questioned whether the staff trusted their own quarterback. People started to wonder, if they didn't believe in him, why draft him at all? There's a difference between developing a young player and suffocating him, and everyone could see which direction things were heading. Meanwhile, across the league, teams were letting their rookie passers learn through fire. Young quarterbacks were throwing 35, 40, even 50 times in a game. Sure, it came with mistakes, but it also came with growth. Cleveland, on the other hand, was acting like any pass beyond 10 yards was breaking a sacred rule. It became a storyline bigger than the games themselves. Was Shedeur being held back by his own sideline? 3 starts, only 61 attempts. That's barely enough to evaluate a backup, let alone a potential franchise leader. With every conservative play call, every wasted opportunity, and every Sunday spent wondering what could have been, the tension kept rising. The offense wasn't struggling because the defense was too good or the opponent was overpowering. It was struggling because the identity felt incomplete, trapped, unfinished. Everyone could feel the clock ticking. Something had to change, and fast. At the podium, the room felt heavy, full of expectation, simmering frustration, and a quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, something would change. When a reporter finally asked the question many had been waiting on, "Are you ready to open it up for Shedeur?" The answer didn't come wrapped in hedging or coach speak. It was sharp, clear, and unmistakable. "I have no concerns about him letting it rip," came the words. Simple, direct, loaded. 3 words that cut through weeks of doubt and conservative silence. In that moment, the dynamic shifted. This wasn't just an acknowledgement of potential. It was a public vote of confidence, the kind of vote that demands attention from players, from fans, from everyone listening. It said, "We believe in him. We trust him. We're no longer protecting him by limiting him. We're giving him the keys and telling him to drive." And suddenly, the narrative that had felt locked in stone of caution, protection, second-guessing started to crumble. With that statement, the leash was removed. The guardrails came down. It wasn't about playing it safe anymore. It was about giving a young quarterback real chances, real opportunities to make plays, to take risks, and to learn by doing. That's the kind of shift that doesn't just change a game plan, it changes a mindset. And if Monday's words hold up through Sunday's game, we might just be looking at the moment everything began to change for Cleveland's offense. When Stefanski said those words, "Let him rip it," he wasn't just talking about dialing up a few deep shots to make the fans cheer. He was talking about a complete shift in who gets to control the game. Up to now, Sanders has been operating with restraints, short routes, safe reads, quick checkdowns, the kind of football that keeps turnovers low but also keeps excitement buried underground. Letting him rip it means trust. Trust to stand in the pocket and take the shot when he sees it. Trust to go through his progressions instead of settling for the first safe option. Trust to attack defenses, not react to them. It means he'll have the green light to make the kind of NFL throws that define future stars. Tight window lasers on third down. Perfectly timed go balls over top. Anticipation throws before a receiver even makes his break. This is where quarterbacks separate themselves. Some crumble when the protection is lifted and they're forced to create. Others take that freedom and turn it into magic. And Sanders has always belonged to the second category. From the moment he stepped into college football's spotlight, he thrived when the game was on his shoulders, not hidden behind a game plan. Opening the playbook means the Browns aren't just hoping he plays well, they're putting the outcome in his hands. More pass attempts, more aggressive play designs, more opportunities to turn momentum in a single play. It shifts the offense from predictable and cautious to explosive and dangerous. And if Cleveland actually follows through with that mindset, Sunday won't look like the Browns we've seen all season. It'll look like a new offense with a new heartbeat, one powered by the arm they drafted to lead them into the future. This Sunday's opponent couldn't be more favorable. The Tennessee Titans enter the game as one of the weakest defenses in the league, a unit that struggles to generate pass rush and has holes in coverage that quarterbacks with a live arm can absolutely exploit. For a young quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, that kind of matchup is a dream scenario. Lines will open up, windows will appear, the pressure he's normally under, the kind that forces conservative play, could disappear entirely. Instead of checking the ball down, he'd have space and time to drop back and scan the field, pick apart a shaky secondary, and throw with confidence knowing the defense isn't built to handle aggressive passing. It's not just pass defense. The Titans have had trouble across the board. Their defensive front struggles to pressure the pocket consistently, meaning the offensive line has a better chance to give Sanders clean pockets and time to read the field. That kind of protection, combined with freedom to throw, turns every down into a potential big play opportunity. And for a quarterback like Sanders, it could be the perfect chance to show exactly what he can do. Then there's the psychological factor. When the opponent looks this beatable, the burden of caution lifts. The offense can finally shift from stay safe mode to attack and score mode. That kind of mindset opens the door to moments where a gunslinger shines, long throws, tight window completions, explosive plays that shift momentum. And when everything clicks, the stat sheet and highlight reel follow. In short, this isn't just a game. This is a setup, a nearly perfect storm for a breakout performance. If the Browns come out aggressive and Sanders gets the green light, Sunday could turn into a showcase, a young quarterback seizing his chance, dismantling a vulnerable defense, and reminding everyone why Cleveland believed in him from day one. If this aggressive shift truly happens, the impact could be massive, not just on the scoreboard, but on the trajectory of Shedeur Sanders' entire career. One game can redefine a quarterback in this league. One great performance can flip the conversation from, is he ready, to how high is his ceiling? And that's exactly what's on the line this Sunday. Picture the stat line, 250 to 300 yards through the air. 2, maybe even 3 touchdowns, a completion percentage that proves he's seeing the field clearly and delivering with precision. Those aren't fantasy numbers, those are realistic expectations if he's allowed to throw 35 to 40 times with aggressive play calls and favorable matchups. A day like that doesn't just look good, it announces something. It tells the league Cleveland has a quarterback. And once that statement is made, everything changes. Offensive identity, future roster building, the confidence of the fan base. Sanders goes from developing rookie to franchise centerpiece. Front offices start thinking about what weapons to surround him with rather than how to hide him. Teammates start leaning on him as the leader they follow, not just the young guy learning on the job. This is the kind of momentum swing that can accelerate years of development into a single afternoon. If Sanders steps onto that field and delivers the breakout so many have been waiting for, the debate ends. The hesitation ends. The doubt ends. He becomes the guy, not temporarily, not conditionally, but officially. And that path, the one every young quarterback dreams of, could begin with a dominant performance against Tennessee. One game can change everything. And for Shedeur Sanders, this might be that game. Football isn't just physical, it's mental. And for a young quarterback, confidence can turn hesitation into heroics. When Shedeur Sanders hears his head coach say publicly that he trusts him to take risks and push the ball downfield, that changes everything inside his head. Suddenly, he's not playing to avoid mistakes. He's playing to make plays. He's not holding back. He's attacking. That edge, that freedom, is what separates cautious backups from rising stars. And this confidence doesn't just affect the quarterback, the entire locker room feels it. Receivers run routes with more urgency when they know the ball can come their way at any moment. Tight ends fight for mismatches because they believe their quarterback will find them. Running backs play looser because the defense can't stack the box expecting safe, predictable play calls. An aggressive passing attack lifts the entire offense, and it forces the defense to feed off that energy too. Knowing a lead is finally something they can trust. This psychological release can unlock chemistry that hasn't fully formed yet. When Sanders makes a big throw, celebrates with his guys, and sees his teammates rally behind him, that becomes contagious. It builds momentum, not just for a drive, but for a season. Every high five, every sideline celebration, every "I got you" moment strengthens his role as the leader in Cleveland. That's how franchises are built, not in quiet development, but in defining performances that pull everyone together. And maybe most importantly, it removes the weight of doubt. Every young quarterback goes through moments where they wonder, do they believe in me? This week, Sanders finally got his answer, loud and clear. When belief comes from the top of the organization, it hits different. It empowers you. It lights a fire. It forces the NFL to pay attention. This is more than a strategy change, it's a mindset shift. And when a locker room feels that shift, greatness can follow. This isn't just another game circled on the schedule. This is the moment the Browns have been building toward, whether they realized it or not. After weeks of frustration, hesitation, and a young quarterback waiting for the chance to show who he really is, everything has finally aligned. Trust from the coaching staff, the perfect opponent, and a home crowd ready to erupt the second something big happens. Sunday is about more than yards and touchdowns. It's about proving a point to the league, to the fans, and to Shedeur Sanders himself. If he steps onto that field and delivers the performance everyone knows he's capable of, the direction of this franchise shifts instantly. The conversation changes, the expectations rise, and for the first time in a long time, Cleveland can look at their quarterback and say, that's our guy. Every great NFL story has a turning point, a moment where everything before feels like build-up and everything after feels like destiny. And if this gambit pays off, if Stefanski keeps his word and truly lets Sanders take control, then this game will be remembered as the night Cleveland football woke up, breathed fire, and stopped looking backwards. So buckle in, because the next chapter starts now. And if Shedeur Sanders seizes this opportunity, Sunday won't just be a win. It'll be the launch of something much bigger, something the entire league will be forced to acknowledge, something fans will look back on and say, that's when everything changed.